Hey guys, it's October 7th. It's been an interesting last couple months, right? So in September, we had a nice heat wave. I think that first half of September was a continuation of August, and we were constantly hitting 80 degrees. And a lot of stuff ended up ripening really well, a lot of nice growth flushes. Since then, the temperatures kind of dropped down a bit below 80 for the most part, you know. Uh, for this last month in October, it's been kind of pretty gloomy each morning. In the afternoon, like this, it's sunny, but it's been kind of gloomy. So it's we had a pretty good vegetative growth, considering that summer was really cool for a long time, right? It was very cool for a long time, and suddenly that heat wave that lasted for a month gave a lot of good push. So here's how all my trees are looking right now. I am gonna do a copper spraying. We're getting into cooler weather. I'm gonna do a copper spraying one time on everything, kind of make sure like any lingering diseases are gone, and then I am gonna try a foliar feeding um, afterwards, which I'll probably try to do up until about November. And once it gets too cool, I'm gonna stop it. But I'm trying to give it as much, as much energy as I can before it gets into winter. And as the sun's getting short and stuff, I think the foliar feeding is gonna help it quite a bit, and be my first time experimenting with it, right? So let's kind of take a look at everything that's growing and see these varieties right here. The ones on the back of this tree is sweet tart, which has always grown the most vigorously out of all these varieties, which I grafted pretty much at the same time, at the same height, but the sweet tart does grow much better. Let's kind of take a look at everything. Here's a variety called Dolores, and I've been getting a lot of questions about this because I've been growing this for a good 3 years, right? I think this is probably the next kind of hype mango for 2026, just because of a pretty popular YouTuber. But what do I recommend for you guys in terms of Dolores? I don't think this is a good variety for California. It grows okay, right? But in 3 years, it hasn't produced any nubbins or any kind of fruits. It's a bit disease prone, so the flowers kind of tend to get kind of black fungal, gets powdery mildew, gets everything. So I don't recommend Dolores for California. But if you're a collector, might as well get it, right? But if you're not, nothing I would kind of recommend. Um, Mine's finally looking pretty good, right? On my other graft, I have two fruits hanging, so I'll be able to try it out this year, and I'll let you guys know how it is. From an immature, knocked off accident fruit, I noticed some very strong citrus zest to it. So, we'll see how it goes. But this is Dolores, right? Looking decent growing, but this has been disease prone in my opinion. It's one of the few varieties where I had issue with like anthracnose on the stems during winter, which I don't get too much of that, but I did have issues with that. Okay, behind it is Little Gem. Right here's Little Gem. And again, my plan was to not let most of these fruit. I was just gonna let it get some vegetation, right? So that's Little Gem. Here's a Sunrise. Another variety I don't really recommend too much. It hasn't been as vigorous as most people would think it would be for California. So this is Super Julie right here, Super Julie, and again here's the sweet tart right here, getting quite large, right? So to the next one. Here's my most vigorous of the rootstock of this 2019 planting, Laverne Manila, right? Quite a bit of different things going on here. Try to see if there's anything noticeable. Here's the Maha. I got a graft from my friend Brian to take of a different Maha strain. Also one from my friend Tien to take from a different Maha strain. So different Maha strains on the same kind of Maha branching. See what happens. Alfonso right there. This one I've just been calling Brian's Amazing Peach Cobbler. I'm not sure what else to call it until he names it, but doing really well right there. Here's a Bronchi Maya, Valkyrie. Here's a Jinhuang right here. There's an M4 that's growing pretty well. My ambrosia, flushing pretty well. Here's a Juliet, diamond, right? Oh, here's a grasshopper. I just kind of killed that right now. You know, this guy's been eating the leaves on my trees. And here's a Cambodian variety called Keo Chun. I got it from my buddy before he took off and retired in France. Safida Lucknow in the back, Sindri right here, raw honey right there. You know, here's a, what was this one? Pineapple Pleasure. So lots of things going on here. Everything looking pretty good. Let's see, let me step back a little bit. Here's another sweet tart right here doing well. Here's a Malika that's not doing too well. But I got a Shanghai grape there. A couple Angie fruits hanging on here. I might pick this. Let's see. Doesn't look like it's ready yet. But see, maybe the small one is. Okay, that's an Angie. Okay, here's a small Sassy Love right here. And the biggest grower on this has been Giselle. That's Giselle right there. It's orange sherbet, a guava Saint Talone. Some other stuff here. Here's my other Manila that I haven't really talked much about because it's doing really horribly. I find it looking pretty decent this year. Right? Let's see. Here's the next one. Oh, this right here is ST Maori right here. Right. Here's the Sassy Love. Another variety I do not recommend for California, right? It doesn't really do well here. Here's a seedling of a lemon zest selection I made. You see, it's growing really nicely right there. Right. I think this is Fanon right here. There's a couple of fruits of ST Maori that's hanging. I think it's right here. I have it wrapped up, but I'll probably end up picking this pretty soon. Let's see. Huh. Interesting. Okay, yep, that's that right here. Okay, on to the next tree. Here's the next one. I got a Bombay right here. First time I had fruit. That was a great fruit. Bombay. Dupree Saigon right here. Dupree Saigon. Another Jinhuang. Right here, I think Jinhuang, Golden Queen. Right there. Some other varieties back there. Alright, on to the next one. Here's Cac. Cac has quite a few fruits. I'll be picking these after the videos. A few of these. This is Super Julie up here. Super Julie. A few more cacs on this side. On to the next one, I got a Florigon right here. It's a fruit right there. Florigon. Getting sizing up. Gram fruit is sizing up pretty well too. Made some grafts and seedling selections right here. Few grafts there. We'll see how it goes. There's a peach cobbler. This is Juliet. I think this is a little gem. Okay, well, I mean, that's an update for now. Pretty quick update. Things did really well in the last month. Very happy with the growth I got, and hopefully this continues on for like another month. With the weather. Hoping for the best. Alright guys, well that's an update on these rootstocks. Thanks.